People will say the only thing that's certain is death and taxes. But surprise is also certain. Why do some of us still sleep with the light on or the TV on, illuminating the room? Well, it's because we really don't like uncertainty or the unknown. We like to know what's around us. Uncertainty and ambiguity is something we avoid at all costs. Fear is one of the most powerful tools in our toolkit of persuasion because it bypasses all the other thought processes and gets to the very core of our being. We'll do anything almost to avoid ambiguity, even if it's bad for our health, like sleeping with the light on. False certainty is everywhere, it has to be, otherwise we'd never leave the house. Ambiguity and the unknown is one of the main sources of fear. And we're so bothered by it, we'll end up in a sort of bad faith paradox of blissful ignorance as we try to avoid it, as we unconsciously sweep all the complexity under the carpet, creating a much simpler reality that's easier to cope with. The very articulate, incredibly confident fool does really well, whereas the person full of doubt, struggling to articulate the impossible to articulate, is just dismissed and struggles. And then someone will have heard the phrase holding things constant, but then they haven't really understood that that's just all about holding things constant in a model. Holding things constant in the real world, not actually possible. Change is the only constant. You can hold things constant in a model quite happily, but in the real world, all things being equal, being followed by a great long explanation, tons of detail about what would then happen. What's the point? All things being equal is a fantasy. Again, these people just must go around with all things bright and beautiful, blah, 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 in their heads playing the whole time. I just want to creep up on them and whisper in their ears. The night is dark and full of terrors. And then the phrase I really love, you had one job. I'm sorry, but no one has just one job. Even if they have one job, as we explored in the last video about functions, in the real world, there's way more to a function than just what you're doing within that function, taking some input and producing some output. There's all these other things going on as well. There's how that function in reality is controlled. There's the resources that function consumes. And there's the mechanism involved